Todd, this is James in Santa Rosa, and you're.
I'm
I,
in Austin, Texas,
I,
brother.
I don't see the map today, so I got a little confused on where I was because it was nice to know I was near El Paso. There you go.
Oceanfront property, brother.
Hey, how you doing today? How's your heart?
You know,
How's your
my heart
brain? And
is good. I woke up this morning. What's up?
how's your heart and
Oh,
brain connecting this morning? Because we got a great interview today that really understands how to connect the heart and brain. I'm excited.
yeah. No, we got Karyn Halpern coming up here in just a minute. Great dentist up in the Northeast. I woke up not so great. I'll be honest with you. I was, slept in a little bit, which I never sleep in.
Yeah.
And I thought, I need to do something for a few minutes. So I went out and got on my motorcycle and rode for about 30 minutes and, just kind of let a lot of frustrations out on the road. And it's good. I think there are times during the day when you're wondering what you should be doing. Any homeowner can relate to this. Any homeowner. You can't walk from your bedroom to the kitchen and not have three thoughts along the way. I need to fix this. I need to fix that. I need to fix this. And it's these little tiny things that eat up on you all day long. Amen?
Yep.
Is that right?
I hear that.
And my wife, Christine, said something really important to me this morning. It really hit home. She said, you can do anything for 5 minutes. And I was thinking, yes, I need to not let those little things eat on me as I'm walking to the kitchen of all the things I need to fix. I need to spend 5 minutes on one of those things. And, the 5 minutes will probably turn into 30 minutes and I'll get something finished. But, for anybody out there and you've got these little things that are eating at you, just spend 5 minutes on it. Just try it. See what happens for you. I think that'll be an excellent way to run your day today. So anyway, how was your day, James?
I'm doing well, but you know what? I'm sitting here. We're getting a lot of connections right now, and they're coming for our guests. So I think we better bring our guest on board.
Let's do it. Hey, we got a bunch of guests coming up, and I'll go over the schedule here at the end. But we have Karyn Halpern from,
and she's on the screen now, Todd.
Oh, good. Hi, Karyn. How are you? Nice.
Hey guys.
Hey.
Yeah,
Sarah just said hi. Sarah said hi to you. Sarah, Dr. Jochen.
Hey, Sarah. Shout out to all my epic women dentists who's tuned in. I hope you guys are all doing well. I miss you all.
Go ahead, Todd. I interrupted you. Take it away, bud.
Yeah, no. The last time Karyn and I saw each other was in Germany, and we were at a meeting for Dentsply Sirona, and we had a blast. In fact, I noticed on your Facebook page you still have the picture of Germany up. What do you call it on the back of your page?
Right. Yeah. No, that was an amazing trip, and God, I'd like to go back. We had such a blast. We had such a great time.
So, Karyn, tell me a little bit about where you're from and your practice and where you got started. So what's up?
So I am from Long Island.
Long Island.
Have to focus on the accent. So I grew up in Long Island, and I went to dental school at Penn, graduated in 2002. And then I spent a number of years practicing for a big group practice as an associate. And then I had an opportunity to purchase my practice back in 2012. And that's when I fell into CEREC, and it completely revolutionized the way I practice. And I've been using it ever since. And, the journey just continues. And I just love it. I absolutely love it.
Now, you started with the blue cam, didn't you?
Yeah.
So the practice that I bought had the blue cam and an MCXL.
Oh, there you go.
And I had never touched CEREC before. And I found out about 6 months before I was going to take over the practice that they really preferred someone that was savvy with CEREC, and that it was a CEREC practice. And I didn't know what that meant. I had no idea what that meant. So I went online and I joined CEREC Doctors, and I started to binge watch all of their videos.
Yeah.
And I didn't even have the machine at the time. So I was like asking questions on those forums back then.
Yeah.
Not even ever touching the machine. And I just fell into it. So once I took over the practice, these patients, they really were like there for their single visit, onlays. It wasn't really, we were just starting into EMAC. So the first one I did was an Empress crown. So, and it's still in service. And it was on a good friend of mine who's actually a dentist, a retired dentist, who volunteered to come in on a weekend and let me do his number 19. And, it still looks, shockingly really good since the day I put it in.
Isn't it funny how you can remember individual restorations? I bet you even know your prep from when you did it. I mean, it's just like our memories are so detailed. So
I'm unique with that for sure.
You're in
I get like
Jefferson.
Call me. I know exactly when they say, "Oh, so and so called," and I said, "Okay, number 3." I did it in 99, whatever. Like what?
Definitely, we have an emotional attachment to our teeth that we work on, which is weird. Now you're in Port Jefferson Station. What are you doing in this downtime? What are you doing with your team? What are you doing with your office? What are you looking to how all this comes through for you?
So I'm not going to say it's been easy. It's definitely uncharted territory.
Yeah.
And I've had my ups and downs. And I do find that our community is really one of the best there is. It was before this, and it still continues to be there for me. So I rely heavily on my close friends and, other dentists and my epic ladies. And, we're there for each other morally, but we also help build each other up. And then we're there talking about these plans because, the problem with all of this is it's a moving target, right?
Yep.
So I'm sure you can relate. Like, we like to be efficient. Mm-hmm. We want to know what's going on. We want to be predictable. We need answers, right? Like, I crave the answer. So every day with this timeline that's not, really something we can rely on, it does need some emotional support along the way. So I've certainly taken advantage of having a lot of dentists that can really relate and that I can count on. And then I try to do the same and return the favor because we all, like I said, if I'm having a better day than you, then I might be able to be that person for you on that day.
Yeah.
And it's really, I think, helped us manage. But I have a lot of things I'm trying to do. So in the meantime, I meet with my team once a week on Zoom. Mm-hmm. And I didn't even know what Zoom was before all this. I don't know if you guys did. Did you ever use Zoom before? So, I'm doing my Zoom happy hours, which I have, once a week with my team. And we start sharing our stories with homeschooling and dealing with new things in that way. And then we talk about what we think it may be like when we come back and how we're going to adapt. Because that's the key thing for me is life happens when you're making other plans. So we just need to figure out our new way and we're going to adapt. And I think that once we get through this, we'll be stronger than we were before.
What do you think? How do you think your practice is going to change? How are you going to be adapting?
So I'm confident there'll be some new, maybe some new OSHA PPE guidelines, and at least in the short term to manage aerosol. We're going to manage being safe for staff and ourselves. And then I'm sure there's going to be scheduling changes. We're going to have to spend more time to, what they call it is donning and doffing, which is a term I just learned. I wasn't even familiar with. Were you familiar with that? You know it?
Yeah.
You know it?
What did you say?
Donning and doffing.
I have no idea.
How you put on and put off your PPE. It's the formal term. So,
I've heard my brother's a physician, and that's what they have to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So there's like a whole method to some of this to do it properly. So there'll be some training involved, and we'll have to adapt with that. But there also might be more time to do it. So you're going to probably have to buffer the appointment, maybe separate. You're not going to maybe do a hygiene check in the middle. Maybe we're going to have to change the sequence and do things different than before to accommodate these things. But I just know that my patients are still there. I speak with them. They're all eager and willing to return. And I know that we're important and people value what we do, and we're going to be there for them as soon as we can.
Yeah. Well, that's powerful,
Yeah, we're
Karyn.
definitely essential. There is no question about it. I'll be honest. I've been pretty upset that we've been declared non-essential. It's
I
really
know.
really irked me greatly. But your positive outlook will get us all through. So I appreciate your words on that.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I've thought about that, and actually 2 weeks before we had our shut in our area, we were already changing, and where we would have people wait in the car until the next patient left, and we took
Right.
all our clients that were 70 years old and pushed them off. And I have
Hmm.
more of a pros-like practice where I see one patient at a time because that's kind of how I roll. And I was just talking with my team yesterday about how we're going to bring them back, but we want to keep everyone safe. That's critical. But there's another side of the coin to this, and that is about perception. And I'd like to know your both you and Todd and Karyn.
Uh-huh.
People make they're going to be more perceiving about whether we're being hygienic or not, particularly feeling safe in the clinical theater. How are you folks going to address that? And what have you what's been your conversation with your team thus far in that area?
Well, I'll tell you what I think the number one thing that we need to do for perception, and that's talk about it. We need to let the patients know that we wipe this down. You're in the cleanest room you'll ever be in today. We have to vocalize how much we're doing. Don't let that go for granted. Meaning, we have to routine basis now, whether it's the front desk when they're talking on the phone, to when they're coming through the waiting room, to when they're seated, whatever. The more we talk about it, the more the patients are going to feel better about it. What do you think, Karyn? What do you think about that?
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. And like James was saying, for a few days, the week when this all started to happen, it happened so quickly. The first few days while I was still seeing patients, we were already
Yeah.
also having conversations on the phone with the patients, reassuring them that we always take the best precautions, and that we're also going to ask you to wait in your car until we're ready. As far as even seating them, I took all the chairs out of my waiting room.
Yeah.
And we just changed behaviors, set up a hand sanitizing station in the waiting room. And we interviewed the patients about their recent health history in relation to traveling, things like that. And now with that being said, I had a few of the patients the last few patients I saw the last few days I was open, they on their own verbalized to me that they felt safest in my
Yeah.
practice and my operatory because they know
Yes.
how we practice and they trust and know my team. So they said on their own, they initiated the conversation and said, I'm not worried. Your place is so much cleaner than any place I've ever been to. So,
Yeah.
I've always trained my team to sit in the chair every so often and look around, right? And see if you see anything out of place,
Oh
because
yeah.
we're human, and you wipe everything down and you do it with good intentions, but you might miss something, right? So I always try to be the patient's eyes and ears and see what they're hearing or thinking or saying, even conversations, right? You may
Yeah.
overhear, what if two of my team members are talking about something that gives them anxiety about this?
Yeah.
That could be something off-putting. So
Hey,
we have to focus on a lot of these
let me
things.
interject, Clem, just for a second.
Yeah.
So you mentioned like the patients waiting out in the car. Karyn, I think that's
Yeah.
an idea for you, but don't misunderstand James Clem's patient base. They're out there smoking pot. He already told me they smoke weed out in the parking lot, and then they come in. So nothing's
And
changing.
I always get the
His
secondary smoke because I'm always happier when I go home at night.
his sedation patients are already sedated when they come to his practice.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I've been doing pharmaceutical sedation both clinically and also it's the social environment. But one of the things I had to adapt to, and I'm just being really transparent here, is in our reception area, we have this beautiful healthy snacks and beverage area. And when
Okay.
we had to take that away, because I always sneak those when no one's watching, that really hurt me inside. I
I know.
I really,
I know.
but we had to change everything that we have done, both from even how people sign in. We actually have people sign in on the iPad now for their health history. Well, we're not doing that anymore. We're going to go back to the good old-fashioned way so we can stay a little more safe. But just thought I'd throw that in there.
Part of all this, I really think that, you think of our average American patient that's coming through our offices, they're going to sense what we're doing for safety, for health concern safety, when they just went to their grocery store and used their credit card and put their credit card in the chip reader and used the punch little plastic pen what got all over my hand. But when they come into our offices, at least they're not going to have that feeling. So I think it's a great job.
Frustrating, right?
I mean, I'm still like wiping my hands off. I know that's probably not good, but it's crazy what we're in right now. And anyway, as healthcare leaders, I think we can be very impactful on that.
Right.
Very much so. Give people hope.
It's like the people in the supermarket wearing the gloves that touch everything. And then they touch everything. They touch their hands, their face, and they touch their car, and then they get in their car.
Oh, man.
Yeah, very uneducated.
Well, through this whole process, and I appreciate Karyn coming on today, because I think one way we can help ourselves is to give others hope. Because when we project hope to others, it comes back and feeds our own hearts and our own souls. And that's, we're all in this together. And we're going to make it through. I just enjoy this community and how we're having to process this. I had the fires 2 years ago where I thought I was going to lose everything. And I kind of went through a different surreal emotional experience then. But where it's different now is we don't know what the horizon is going to bring. But, as we gain and build ourselves in here, as our future goals will be a lot on how we think and not letting the fight and flight impact our critical thinking.
Right.
And that's kind of where I kind of have to vacillate. So when I know I'm going into fight and flight emotionally, I have to do something, either something positive or call someone or talk with my wife or go on a walk with my dog, and it kind of keeps me more settled. And that's kind of how I'm having to process this, because this wave effect that comes on, I know is a dentist, and I've seen this as a dentist myself and an educator for years, is that we don't want to fail at anything, both clinically and business-wise. And I think when we're challenged with something new like this, we just have to dig a little deeper. But I think one way we're going to get through this is a community that we're doing today. And that's what Todd and I wanted to do, was let's develop more of a community where the ones we admire that are processing this. And I think you're going to find this, that everyone's having to process this, no matter who we are. No matter how long we've been in practice, no matter how much we have in the bank, we're still having to process this, because it's who we are as people, and it's how we project ourselves. That was my little sermonette, so I'm done.
Karyn, you got any last words you want for us?
I just had a question for James. The other day you mentioned that you color your hair.
Yeah.
So, gray grays are coming in now, and I'm starting to feel it, and I'm wondering how you're managing, because you don't have any gray, so you're doing it yourself?
I do. I've had it done by others, and I'm a control person, so I like to. The one reason why I love CAD/CAM is because I like making my own restorations. I like managing my own hair. In fact, I even cut it myself this last time because I couldn't go in.
Really?
Yeah, it's that's why I'm not turning around right now.
No, like I said, I'm envious of that, because I thought about that when we were coming on live today. I said, ooh.
Well, thanks for the comment, but
I would have normally liked to do my hair.
Well, I used to have more hair like Todd, and I just found when it was going gray, since I do a lot of online media, it was just harder to convey. And in fact, even on my online, how's my makeup today? I actually went to a makeup artist and learned how to put makeup on. See my nice little cheeks there, and
looks better than mine.
And
Hey, James, how old are you?
I'm 60, almost 62. See, you can see this. I need to do.
Wow.
How's that? There we go. That's a 50-year-old neck right there.
You're doing good. You're doing so good. Karyn, thank you so much. Just great.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Karyn.
Karyn.
It's been a blast.
And I'm
great,
just saying one last thing.
guys.
I think everybody needs to go on your your practice Facebook page because I was looking at some of your work. Your veneer case that you have right at the top, that's stellar.
That's
that
great.
That is really, really good. I'm very impressed by that. So great job.
Also, Karyn, I didn't
Appreciate
comment
it.
on this, but that full upper arch case you seated about 3 months ago, that
Yes,
was awesome.
that case was.
That was
Thank you very much.
that was a really nice
I
case.
appreciate it. Especially, it's a big, huge compliment coming from both of you. I look up to you both, and you guys are. I admire your work, and I've always been a huge fan. So that's very flattering. Thank you.
Well, we're in this together, and our goal is to build each other up and just celebrate each other's success. And thanks for coming on. We really do appreciate it a lot.
Thank you, Karyn. Hey, James.
Thanks again, guys.
Thanks, Karyn. See ya.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
We've got a lot of people signed up for more interviews. Let me just review what we've got for next week. So Sunday evening, we've got Dhaval Patel from Keep Saraking. He's going to join us.
Oh, great. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
that
great
guy,
following.
you know what? He is such a master. He has raised the bar. And
absolutely. I've
he's
so watching him.
And you know what? He has the perfect ingredients as an educator. He's incredibly gifted, but he's very humble.
Yes. So we're going to have him Sunday evening. On Monday, we've got Andre Sheardon. If you're not familiar with Andre, great educator. I've lectured with him number of times. If you're into, especially EagleSoft, but any practice management software, he's a guru in all of them. But he's got a great Facebook page, Andre's Field Guide.
That's going to be great. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's Monday. Tuesday, we've got Alex Nudell from Revenue Well. That guy, if you're on Facebook, you know who Alex is. He's all over the place with that face.
Hey, Todd, let's do the Alex pose.
Yeah, that's the Alex Nudell pose there.
Hey, Jordan, that's my buddy.
There's your dog.
Jordan, hey.
Keep the. So on Wednesday we've got Twan Pham. If you're not familiar with him, he's got a practice coaching system called the Dental Maverick.
Good.
Great following. A lot of people that follow him. And then to finish the week, we're going to interview Mark Morin, historical person in CAD/CAM that everybody should know. And then also John Nosty is going to join us. So we got a big week.
And Todd, I want to thank you, Todd, for lining all these people up, and we're kind of working through this, and I really appreciate working with you in your bunker. And
I am in the bunker.
Yeah, this is the Clem Home Theater, and while we're down, in fact, Todd and I were talking about this, that we're going to do quite a few interviews while we're down, because we need to connect, right, on a daily basis. Yeah. And once we're up and working again, we're going to make this a long-term adventure, aren't we?
We sure are, buddy.
And,
love you, man.
Love you too, man.
Thanks to everybody out there on social media.
Yeah, thanks for watching, and thanks for sending your love. We had more hearts scrolling across the screen today. I'm already entering this day with a fuller heart, and thank you, Karyn. You were awesome today. It was great to get better acquainted with you. So we'll talk to you folks later. Signing off. See you tomorrow.